Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When the member opposite and several members opposite stand up, it's often the same string of hyperbole and cynicism that we hear over and over and over again. And I often think about how sad it would be to live in a world that is that cynical all the time about everything. I grew up in the Steel City, in Canada's Steel City in Hamilton. My family worked in the steel industry. Steel is in our blood. I want to give the member opposite the opportunity to acknowledge the harm that Donald Trump is illegal and unjustified tariff war against Canada has caused to Canada's economy. Thank you.
Honourable member for Calgary East.
First of all, that member can tell his Prime Minister that steel is still used around the world because his Prime Minister doesn't believe anyone even uses steel.
Right.
And second of all, he can tell his Prime Minister to remove the industrial carbon tax that gets put on top of that steel. Exactly. And this member in particular is completely out of touch. His government is completely out of touch. It's his government that has caused the pain on Canadians.
That's right.
Donald Trump didn't impose a carbon tax on Canadians. Donald Trump isn't the one that's made permitting the second worst in the entire OECD. Donald Trump isn't the one that's sending more and more Canadians into the food bank. It's this out-of-touch Liberal government, and he should apologize for that.
Questions and comments, questions et commentaires, l'honorable.
The honourable member for Beauharnois, Salaberry, Soulanges, Huntington. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank my colleague for his speech.
Une question assez importante à lui poser sur le...
I have an important question for him. In this bill, the government amends the Excise Tax Act, and we've noticed that no amendment to the Act actually solves the inequity, the injustice between producers of certain drinks, hydromel, blueberry drinks. We had asked for an exemption for these small local producers so that they could actually live from their productions, and they exempted apple cider producers, but not the other alcohol producers producing alcohol with maple or other goods. Do you think it's an error, given that they're not exempting other fruit-based alcohol producers, that they're actually limiting economic development in our regions?
Thank the honourable member for her question. The translation was a little bit behind, so I hope I heard the question right. And if it's about the excise tax, Conservatives from day one, every single year, whether it's putting a motion inside the Finance Committee or I've written letters myself to the Finance Minister that the tax that gets put on top of these beverages, that we should make it a zero tax and freeze it. At a time when restaurants are closing more than ever before because of high Liberal taxes and high bureaucracy that this Liberal government has created and the regulatory burden that they've created, we need to do as much as we can, not just for the people that are producing the beverages, but also for the restaurants and the knockoff effects of after that. But this Liberal government is obsessed with taxing businesses to death. They need to reverse course so we can have restaurants opening more than they're closing in this country again.
Questions and comments, questions et commentaires, the honourable member for Winnipeg Centre.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to thank my honourable colleague for his contribution today. We know the reason why groceries are so high. It's because there's a couple of grocery chains, including ones owned by Gale and Weston, who are hogging all the space in the market and price gouging at the checkout. Like, people are literally crying when they're buying groceries. His government, or his party, has come out. It has said nothing about the reality of this situation. The NDP has an actual solution, and that's to offer a public option for food. We know that's the real solution. Does my honourable colleague agree, or is he going to keep supporting corporations that are starving people?
The honourable member for Calgary East in 30 seconds or less.
Thank you, Speaker. Look, I'll have to disagree with that honourable member because we do have solutions. Conservatives have identified the problem. When the Liberals drove out $1 trillion of investment, they also got rid of the competition. Competition in a free market helps to drive down costs. And we would eliminate in its entirety the industrial carbon tax, the clean fuel standard, and any other one of those taxes that the Liberals implemented that make the cost of food go up.